so we have a slab. If you use my magnifying glass, it'll just zoom all. And notice it has these references out here too. So whatever drawings are on the screen, it will include everything. So if I go edit, erase, references, and then zoom all, boom, there's no longer references included, so it brings me to the full slab on the screen. This slab, you can also turn this on and off by F11. F11 will flip the picture on and off if you need to just see your drawing.
F11?
F11.
Got it.
So if I have my slab here, we have a couple choices. We could either draw a reference line vertically and horizontally, take a measurement of the slab, and then just do our offsets that way. Or, since we have a camera, I showed this morning in a little bit easier of a way, we know this slab is this size, so I can just simply draw my reference lines. I could draw reference lines, or I could even, once you get good enough, you can just simply just go up here to a rectangle and just go. And I mean, you go right there.
Save a step.
Boom. Because you can see that I have, you can see that you're still on the slab by having that pull cursor like that. That's kind of nice. And I'm definitely within the slab. But you can also draw reference lines on all four sides, then draw your rectangle. You can do a reference line on the right and the bottom, and then take a real measurement and do it. So you got several ways of getting this. Just whichever of the three methods is your preference, they're all fine. So we're going to go into Cut Manager. We're going to utilize pieces that we've already been made, and they're just simple thresholds. One is a 4" by 48", the other is a 6.5" by 35 and 7/8". So I'm going to go ahead and activate the Cut Manager. We have our slab and our contour rectangle already drawn. Once the Cut Manager pops up, it tells you what sequence that you're in, and we're pretty much going to be using this main blade the majority of the time. Typically up here, this is step number 1, contour to cut. Simply just left click it, it highlights it. I come down here and I just pick either side, bottom, left side. I just have to put my cursor on the contour rectangle and just left click. When I do that, you can see it took it, because now I've got work applied on all four sides. Second step is to bring in our pieces. You just make your pieces, draw them, and then just save it. And whatever individual pieces that you made for that particular drawing come in this folder, and we're going to open those. So we're going to come down here to Rick's pieces, Rick Omni 1. We're going to open this, and boom, we have 2 individual pieces. Now we're doing multiple of the same ones, but we only had to draw one. If we need more than one, we just simply right click on the piece, edit pieces, and then pieces number, we change the number how many we want. So we'll just say 20, right click, edit pieces, 20. So let's start off with this tall piece. We've done a couple examples, but we're kind of replicated for the video purpose. So once I just left click the piece, and when I drag over with my cursor, I have this piece. But I want to make him go up and down instead of left to right. Let's simply hold Control and hit the up key, and it'll flip these 90 degrees. If I hold Shift and hold up, it does like 15-degree increments, I believe, 15 or 10 degrees. And if I don't hold Shift or Control and just hit up, it does very, very, very tiny increments. So, but the majority of the time, you would hold Control and just do a full-blown 90-degree flip. And because the contour is defined, it will allow me to snap. If you did not do the contour first, you'll notice if you ever come over here and grab your pieces and they're trying to snap them into the rectangle, and it's not snapping, it's probably because you didn't contour.
You have to do the contour first.
Yeah, because then it defines.
Gotcha.
So let's drop 2 pieces vertically. 1, I'll just move to the left a little bit, and he snaps. I can tell he snaps right in there. 2. I'm going to grab this other piece, and we're going to go 3 across. 1, snap, 2. Now see how it's wanting to snap to the left, snap to the right? In these cases, I move my cursor where I want to look, zoom him in, move him to the left. Oh, that's exactly where I want him. Left click. Now let's see how tall we can go. If I need to get zoomed back in, just use the magnifying glass. I can zoom back into this area and go click, snap click, snap click, snap click, snap click. Oh. There we go. Go ahead.
Nice.
Let's go ahead and drop them in there too. If you ever notice that it's kind of struggling on the snap, just zoom in there a little bit. See, he's being aggravating. There he goes. See, I had to zoom in just a little more, and then it got it. So you'll get the feel for it with the more you move around. I gotta zoom a little more there. So I should just go ahead and let me do it because I think
it's so close there. I think it's trying to.
Yes,
suck it
it's
over.
so close. We'll do that, and then let's go ahead and drop some more of these pieces. That way I can show you a couple moves. 2. Let's squeeze them in there. Boom. Okay. I'm throwing a couple extra things in there. This is a little bit more of a complex example than what we've already done, but you'll understand what this will help you. We typically have enough room to this right a lot of times to do a couple moves. So the reason I built this up taller is so I can basically cut this loose, move him to the right, 300, cut him loose, move him to the right, 150, cut him loose, move him up, and finish this. So we're already contoured. That was step 1. Step 2 was opening the drawing and placing all of our pieces. Step 3 is to separate and move. So first we're going to move this guy, and I know I got to move to the right twice. So I'm going to pick the saw blade, I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm not picking in here because I got 2 pieces stacked. I'm going to pick this line because this is scrap and nothing, and I know this is one individual line. And when I left click him, he stretches up to the top, and now I want to move this block here with just those 2 pieces in it. So now I come to move, I left click move, and I simply just put my cursor somewhere in the center of that block, and you can see once I left clicked, it drops these 2 cups, it pops open this box. The very first time it's going to have a 0 in this box, and so I like this 150 distance, and I'll utilize the caret to just drop that information in there. This is the direction. You can pick 45 degrees, left, 45 degrees. You can do down. In this case, we're going to go to right. And again, I'm going to move 2 times to the right. So since that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and put in a custom of twice that, so 300. And now you can see this arrow, it's a lot longer than what you typically see because it's twice as long. The next part we got to break away is this whole section and move him to the right as well. So back to our add a cut. We need to dive in here and see which cut is by himself. So I'm really diving in there, and we're going to grab this guy right here. See, it stretches
Yep.
up. Now we're gonna move, I'm gonna use my magnifying glass, and then back to piece moving, and this time I'm gonna pick in the center of that square. We can see the cups are in the center. This time I'll use the 150 drop down
Yep.
to the right. Okay, and you can see the arrow is half that amount. The next move is to cut this top block away and move him up so that he can be free. Back to add a cut, zoom in to an individual line, which is this one,
Yeah.
stretch him over, back to move, and we're going to put him in the middle of that block. And if I move this header up the way, you can see he's in the center of all that group. 150 up. That's it for that. Okay, now we can see that moved up. Now everything's free away from overcuts, so I know I can finish this. These are the last two buttons. Execute last cuts, so I left click him once. Now I come over here to calculate its workings, and I left click. And you'll see all the work drop. I'm going to open up working list. Go ahead and turn on these first 4 cuts until you get more used to this. And then we're going to run our 2D simulation. Cut, 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 cut. Move 300. And now that one's going to move 250. Or I'm sorry, 150. That way all the overcuts are not going to cut into each other. We're all good. And when that's complete, you just simply come up here to cancel to get out of 2D simulation. Inspect this, because we did have a case earlier yesterday that one of these arrows was a little bit short. So you just look over your work to make sure that none of your work cut itself short. Typically it shouldn't. Most likely it was a user error that we experienced. But it's good to go ahead and inspect these cuts anyway. It's okay to run a couple 2D simulations. That way you can make sure all these lines are truly running through and coming out each side. I mean, if you're seeing blue coming out each side of these pieces,
Yep. You know it's cut.
you know it's cut through. That looks good to me. At this point, I would hit F4. It takes a minute. And this is where we would save our program. So we would say test program saw. Save. We'll say no. Honestly, God, if you said yes, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. On this screen, it's all set up for you already. All you simply got to do is click OK. And we'll say the material thickness is 20. It's ready to go.